The Rachel Zegler Snow White situation has turned into a full-blown Hollywood disaster, with rumors swirling about a confrontation with Jack Black that allegedly pushed the young actress to her breaking point. Zegler was supposed to be Disney's golden ticket cast as Snow White in the live-action remake of the film that literally built the Disney empire. It should have been career-defining, the kind of role actresses dream about their entire lives, but from the moment her casting was announced, things started going sideways in spectacular fashion. Instead of celebrating the original fairy tales, Zegler gave interview after interview that seemed designed to provoke longtime fans. She repeatedly called the prince in the original film a stalker, mocked the classic version, and proudly announced Snow White wouldn't need a man to save her this time around. The modern reimagining would remove the prince entirely and replace the seven dwarves with something else. Decisions that immediately raised red flags with the audience. What really caught people's attention, though, was Zegler's apparent confidence bordering on arrogance. She was quoted saying, "People will always come see me no matter what, and everything I do, people will wait in line to see." Those words would come back to haunt her in the most brutal way possible. As the movie's release approached, something surreal started happening. Zegler began posting videos of herself sitting alone in completely empty theaters. Not just once, but multiple times, she shared these images seemingly without any awareness of how bad it looked, as if the empty seats around her weren't telling a devastating story about audience interest. For those watching online, it was uncomfortable to witness, like seeing someone in denial about what was clearly becoming a public failure. Meanwhile, across town, something completely unexpected was happening. The Minecraft movie, a film that industry insiders had written off as a joke, was exploding at the box office. Critics loved it, fans flocked to theaters, and it was making serious cash. In fact, Minecraft reportedly made more money in the United States in one weekend than Snow White had earned globally. After 3 weeks, that's when the Jack Black rumors began circulating. Black, the voice of Kung Fu Panda and a key star in the Minecraft movie, allegedly confronted Zegler during this tumultuous period. According to behind-the-scenes accounts, he questioned how she was handling the growing backlash, particularly her tendency to dismiss all criticism as simply hate from trolls. "Do you think calling fans trolls is helping?" he supposedly asked her. What followed depends on which rumor you believe. Some sources claim Zegler became extremely emotional, others say she stormed off set, and a few even suggest she broke down in front of Disney executives. Whether or not she sought therapy afterward, as some have claimed, the timing of this alleged confrontation marked a clear turning point. The Snow White press tour suddenly went quiet. Disney started issuing vague statements about the project. Zegler's usually active social media presence temporarily went dark. People started wondering if the pressure had finally become too much internally. The film itself was reportedly falling apart. Multiple insiders claimed that major editing decisions were being made at the last minute, with entire scenes and storylines being cut just weeks before the premiere. Test audiences described the movie as tonally inconsistent, emotionally flat, and preachy, like watching two different films mashed together, and not in a good way. Even Disney CEO Bob Iger was allegedly concerned after receiving dismal reports from test screenings. He reportedly began asking tough questions about how a cornerstone project with $1 billion potential had gone so spectacularly off track. Was meant to be a sure thing now looked like a potential disaster. The contrast with the Minecraft movie couldn't have been more stark. While Snow White felt like a lecture dressed up as entertainment, Minecraft was being praised for being fun, silly, clever, without condescension, and most importantly, not trying to force-feed a message to its audience. Theaters were filled with dancing kids, laughing parents, and genuine joy. Exactly the kind of magic Disney used to create effortlessly. That comparison hit Disney hard. Snow White was supposed to be empowering, but instead came across as self-important. Even longtime Disney defenders were admitting something felt off. The fairy tale remake that should have reinforced Disney's cultural dominance was instead raising uncomfortable questions about whether the studio had lost touch with what audiences actually want. So what really happened between Zegler and Black? The details remain murky. Some say it was a heated exchange during a press event, others believe it happened in a private backroom during reshoots, and a few claim there was no face-to-face confrontation at all, just tense messages passed between representatives. But regardless of the specific circumstances, the story spread like wildfire. The image of a Hollywood veteran calling out a rising star struck a chord with people. It felt like a perfect encapsulation of a broader cultural shift, a mounting resistance to what many see as Hollywood's increasingly Agenda-driven storytelling productions that feel more like statements than stories have been wearing thin with audiences for a while, but this moment brought that tension into the spotlight. Ziegler tried to maintain her public image. Through it all, she posted filtered selfies, shared inspirational quotes, and reposted supportive messages from fans, but the energy had noticeably changed. Her content felt strained, like someone trying to appear unaffected while drowning in pressure. And in today's internet culture, that kind of disconnect doesn't go unnoticed. Online reactions were predictably divided. Some followers offered support, pointing out the impossible standards women in Hollywood face and the toxicity of fan backlash. Others went straight for mockery, turning her perceived arrogance into meme fuel. Her journey from breakout star to internet punchline happened at breakneck speed, with every new development amplified across social media. Behind closed doors at Disney, panic was reportedly setting in. PR teams shifted into overdrive, marketing budgets were slashed and redirected, and reshoots were ordered with frantic urgency. Executive meetings were allegedly filled with desperate attempts to salvage what was quickly becoming a high-profile disaster. The contrast with Minecraft's success made the situation even more painful. While Disney executives were scrambling, Minecraft was casually sprinting past $300 million, zero globally. Now, White wasn't just failing at the box office, it was experiencing what industry insiders call an implosion of expectations. This wasn't just about disappointing numbers, it was about a fundamental breakdown in the relationship between Disney and its audience, a betrayal of trust that could have long-lasting consequences for the studio's brand. The rumored Jack Black confrontation became symbolic of everything that had gone wrong. One voice of reason in a room full of chaos, trying to pull the production back on course, while others doubled down on a vision that was increasingly out of touch. Some say he humiliated Ziegler, others say he simply told her a truth that no one else dared to voice, that sometimes the audience is right, and dismissing every critic as a troll isn't just bad PR, it's delusional. That tension became a mirror reflecting broader problems, not just in this production, but in Hollywood's current mindset, from over-marketed moralizing to tone-deaf messaging. The clash between Zegler and Black felt like a clash between two competing visions of entertainment, one rooted in heart and joy, another obsessed with optics and statements. If reports of Zegler's emotional meltdown are true, it's not just about one actress hitting her limit, it's about the potential crumbling of Disney's entire live-action remake blueprint. A business model that once seemed bulletproof is showing serious cracks. The warning signs have been flashing for a while: diminishing returns, growing audience apathy, critical backlash. But Snow White might be the loudest alarm. Yet what's becoming increasingly clear is that fans don't want nostalgia repackaged as lectures. They don't want beloved classics filtered through a corporate checklist. They want authenticity, joy, and magic, the very qualities that made these stories timeless in the first place. And if even someone with Jack Black's star power and goodwill couldn't right this ship, then maybe it's time for Disney to fundamentally rethink its approach, because this isn't just about one film failing, it's about a legacy teetering on the edge. Disney's magic wasn't built on focus groups or messaging strategies, it was built on emotion, wonder, and heart. And when audiences sense those elements are missing, they respond not with polite disappointment, but with their wallets and their voices. They skip the premieres, they post the memes, they call out what feels disingenuous. The audiences aren't lining up for moral lessons that feel forced down their throats. They're showing up for fun that feels genuine. They want characters they can cheer for, stories they can escape into, and worlds they want to revisit. They're looking for that rare feeling when the screen lights up, and for a couple of hours, everything else fades away. And until Disney rediscovers how to create that magic, no amount of legacy IP or marketing spin can fix what's broken. Unless something changes fast, Snow White may go down not just as a box office disappointment, but as a defining moment. When Disney's golden age of remakes hit a wall, we're not just talking about poor reviews anymore, we're talking about a potential breaking point in the company's carefully constructed image. A film that was intended to rejuvenate Disney's legacy has instead become a symbol of disconnect in the eyes of many fans. This isn't just a creative misstep, it's a betrayal, the kind that makes audiences stop giving a studio the benefit of the doubt. It's not hard to imagine future Disney projects being met with deep skepticism. Trailers dissected frame by frame, stars grilled in interviews, narratives questioned before a single ticket is sold. Snow White was supposed to be a guaranteed cultural moment, yet it might be remembered as the spark that ignited a broader fan revolt. So was Jack Black the wake-up call that Disney desperately needed? Could this confrontation be the moment that finally forces the studio to confront criticism it's been brushing off for years. Some industry insiders believe Black's alleged clash with Zegler symbolized a breaking point and internal revolt against a system that seems to value messaging over magic. Or is this just another Hollywood rumor blown wildly out of proportion, a sensationalized narrative custom made for clicks and controversy? It certainly wouldn't be the first time a tense moment between celebrities morphed into something mythical in today's digital landscape. A raised eyebrow or brief exchange can transform into an epic saga within hours. Either way, one thing's clear: the story isn't over, not by a long shot, with Snow White's performance under intense scrutiny and the internet dissecting every frame. Quote, and behind the scenes whisper the stakes couldn't be higher. Everyone involved, Zegler, Black, Disney CEO Bob Iger, and the studio itself, are being watched more closely than ever before. Whatever unfolds in the coming weeks might reshape how Hollywood approaches its most treasured stories moving forward. This could be the moment that forces major studios to reassess their remake strategies and reconnect with what made these stories beloved in the first place. Or it could simply be another bump in the road, quickly forgotten as the next controversy emerges. The comparison between Snow White and Minecraft goes beyond box office numbers. It's about two fundamentally different approaches to entertainment. One film reportedly tried to reinvent a classic with messaging at the forefront, while the other embraced simple joy and creativity without apology. One was anchored by statements about what it wouldn't be, the other by celebration of what it could be, and audiences have made their preference crystal clear. They're choosing fun over lectures, authenticity over messaging, and heart over homework. They're choosing films that make them feel something genuine rather than films that tell them what they should think. The irony isn't lost on anyone. A movie based on a blocky video game with deliberately simplistic graphics is connecting emotionally with audiences in ways that Disney's lavish, expensive fairy tale reimagining apparently couldn't. It's a testament to the fact that no amount of CGI or brand recognition can replace genuine heart and joy. For Disney, the path forward is challenging but clear: reconnect with the wonder and magic that made these stories timeless in the first place. Remember that lectures rarely inspire, but stories that touch the heart can change the world. Understand that respecting your audience and your legacy isn't just good ethics, it's good business. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful magic in storytelling isn't found in special effects or modernized messaging. It's found in the simple, timeless ability to make an audience feel. And until Disney remembers that all the king's horses and all the king's men won't be able to put Snow White back together again.